morning students. Today we will start with lesson number 2, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Last year we have learned that there are reproductive structures in a flower are of two types. Male reproductive structure is called as androgynia and the female reproductive structure is gynoecium. In the androgyne, the unit of the androgyne is stamen. A stamen is consisting of two parts. The tip portion is called as anther and a long slender stalk is called as filament. And this proximal end will be attached to the thalamus or the petal. Now, this anther, this structure is bilobe. That means it has two lobes in it. And each lobe is having two theca. Theca means compartment. So, in total, there are 4 different compartments in a bilobe structure of the anther. If you take the cross section through this, you will find that there are 4 different parts, and that is why the anther appears to be tetragonal, that is 4-sided structure. So, in this, when you take a section, you can see these pollen sacs. This is one lobe, this is another lobe, and there are 2 theca in that. These pollen sacs are these structures which contain pollen grains in it. Now, the structure of a microsporangia. Inside the anther, there are microsporangia in which actually the pollen grains are produced. In this structure, the TS of a young anther, if we take, we can see that there are different layers. 4 wall layers can be seen, and inside this circular part which you see, these are the 4 microsporangia. So, in an anther, you can see in the transverse section at 4 corners, you can see 4 microsporangia structures. This is a tetragonal structure, 4-sided structure. This microsporangia has 4 wall layers, and next to it is the structure which is the microsporangia, this one. Now, if we enlarge this structure, we have the clear layers can be seen in it. The 4 layers are the outer one, it's called as epidermis. Next to it, the second layer is called as endothecium. The third and fourth layer, 2 layers, so arrows are coming to these 2. They are called as middle layers. And the next to it is tapetum. Inside the tapetum, then there are pollen mother cells or microspore mother cells. These are, now they will undergo the meiosis and will produce the pollen grains. Now we will see what are the structures or functions of all these. In this, epidermis, endothecium and middle layers, these 3 outer wall layers, they are doing the function of protection and the dehiscence of the anther. Dehiscence means breaking and release of the pollen grains. When the anther matures, that time these 3 layers, they help in breaking open of this anther and releasing the pollen grains. While the function of the tapetum, that is this layer, it is nourishing the pollen grains. When the pollen grains are developing, they are nourished by this layer, that is the tapetum. Now, the cells of the tapetum, they are having dense cytoplasm and the nucleus in it. So these cells, they are important one because they are nourishing the pollen grains, and the pollen grains are produced from these cells which are called as MMC or microspore mother cells. So this is the structure of a microsporangium. Now we will come to the next point, that is called as how these microspores are produced. The process by which the microspores are produced by the pollen mother cell, microspore mother cell, or PMC is pollen mother cell. So these cells, they undergo meiotic division, that is reduction division, because the pollen grains which are produced, they are haploid. So these PMC, these cells, they undergo meiotic cell division and produce 4 microspores. That is why it is called as tetrad. Microspore tetrad, that is 4 haploid microspores are produced, and this process is called as microsporogenesis. Now, when you observe the blooming flower of hibiscus, you might see yellow colored powder which has come out in that. So that is nothing but the pollen grains. So pollen grains of different plants will have different structure, maybe having different shape, color, size, or even the outer surface. Some are spiny, they have spine-like structures on them, or some are having the smooth surface. So their design or architecture is also different. The typical angiosperm pollen grain, if we see its structure, it is spherical in shape and it will have a double wall. The outer one is, so the outer one, this is called as exine. This wall is having small gaps on it. So these gaps, they are called as germ pores, and the inner layer is called as intine. This is exine and this is intine. So it is the shape, if you see, of a typical angiospermic pollen grain. It is spherical in shape. Its diameter will be about 25 to 50 μm. The two-layered structure, exine and intine. The exine is the outermost. It is hard, and this hardness is because of the typical substance called sporopollenin. What are the typical characteristics of this? This substance is the most resistant organic material known in the world. That means it is not getting decomposed by any of the substance. May it be an enzyme or acid or alkali. So this sporopollenin, which forms the outer hard covering, that is exine, is the most resistant organic material. The another property of this is it withstands higher temperatures, not getting affected by very high temperatures or acid and bases or alkalis. Yet there is no enzyme discovered which can degrade this sporopollenin. So you may get the fossils of the pollen grains. Sometimes the fossils are also obtained because it is not degraded and it is the most resistant structure. inner layer that is intine, this is thin and it is continuous. That means here it is broken. You can see the outer covering. It is broken because there is a gap. Here in this gap portion, the sporopollenin is absent, and that is called as germ pore. The importance of this germ pore is when the pollen grain it germinates, the germ tube comes out of it through the germ pore. After the germination of the pollen grain, the germ tube comes out. So this intine is a continuous layer. It is made up of cellulose and pectin and not of the sporopollenin. So when this germinates, this inner layer, it forms a germ tube which comes out of this opening that is called as germ pore. Pollen grain, there are two types of cells. One is vegetative cell and another is called as generative cells. The vegetative cell is bigger, it has abundant food reserve and has irregular nucleus in it. While that the generative cell is small and it floats in the cytoplasm of a vegetative cell. Now, 60% of the angiospermic plants, when they shed the pollen grains, they are at two cell stage. That means they have one vegetative and one generative cell. So such a pollen grain is called as two cell stage, and most of the angiosperms they are shedding the pollen grains at this two cell stage. While there are certain plants like wheat which shed the pollen grains at 3 cell stage. Now what is the difference in this? In this, no doubt there is a vegetative cell and generative cell undergoes division and it produces two male gametes. So total these two male gametes and one vegetative cell, total 3 cells. So in this, in the plants like wheat, they shed the pollen grains at 3 cell stage which contains one vegetative cell and two male gametes which are obtained by the division of the generative cell. Now what is the importance of pollen grains? Pollen grains are supposed to cause allergies and of the respiratory tract leading to bronchitis, asthma. One particular plant known as Parthenia, commonly it is called as carrot grass. So the pollen grains of this plant are known to cause pollen allergy. Not all the pollen grains are harmful. There are certain pollen grains which are rich in nutrients and hence they are taken as pollen tablets are produced from that. And these pollen tablets are consumed. In Western countries, people consume these pollen tablets for the nutrients. They increase the performance of athletes and race horses. So, these athletes, they take these pollen tablets. The next point is viability of a pollen grain. Viability means how long the pollen grain will be alive or living. So, this property or the viability of the pollen grain, it depends on temperature and humidity. In different plants, if you see, the viability of pollen grains is different. In case of rice and wheat like cereals, it is only 30 minutes. While in Leguminosae family, Solanaceae family, it is for months. While in certain cases, like in pollen bank, the pollen grains are stored at -196 degrees Celsius temperature by using liquid nitrogen, and if you store it in That process is called as cryopreservation. You can preserve the pollen grains for years. So, the pollen grain may be viable naturally for few minutes to few months, but artificially, if you preserve it by cryopreservation, they can be preserved for years. So, this is all about the first part, that is the androecium, male reproductive part of the flower. The common questions which are asked on this part, that is the structure of microsporangium with diagram. So you have to explain the structure, that epidermis, endothecium, tapetum and all that diagram and the structure. And the second question is structure of pollen grain, where you have to explain the enzyme, endyne, germ pore and all. So please prepare these questions. In next class we will see the female reproductive